How did you become such a magnetic speaker? Because I think that is certainly one of your gifts that you have.
When I was growing up, my grandfather owned a business, and my father and my uncle and my grandmother all work there. And I always envied, I looked up to my grandfather. He was the boss. He was the man. It was his place. He was the guy. I grew up going in and out of that place, the Richards Company. And a little bit deep down, it was a little bit of a mess at times, in the relationships with my father and my grandfather, grandmother, uncle, all that stuff. But I watched that business very closely as a kid. I grew up in it. Right. And then my business partner, his business that he started, and him and I are very close. We're still partners to this day. I watched him build a business, and he was kind of like my grandfather in a way. My grandfather was like, he's the sweetest guy out of the office, but he was a hard ass. He was a salesman. He built it from nothing. He was an entrepreneur, but he sold. He ran that place hard. He treated people hard. He was like tough. And I always felt like there was a better way just seeing it, even though I admired what he was doing. And then the same thing with my business partner, who I love. He was a salesman. He had the gall to start his own business and entrepreneurial. But I watched the way that place was run for years, and I always thought there was just a little bit of a better way. And that's where I always felt like there's more for the people there. There's more for the community of things, the culture of things. So I think deep down, it comes down to being so involved and growing up, seeing those two very up and close, and them being close to me, not to dismiss what they did. They did incredible things. And I look up to both my grandfather, my father, Paul, my partner, all that stuff. But there were things that were just instilled in me that I wanted, that I didn't think those businesses did. It's a very difficult thing to do, but sometimes you get jaded, man. I'm telling you. You know how I am. I'm optimistic, but it's hard. It's hard, when you're always trying to do the right, you're trying to, build culture. People use the word culture. You build, and it ain't easy. People are challenging. People are great and people are challenging. But I think at the end of the day, you have to be trying. You have to want that energy, that atmosphere, that environment. You want to be at a place where somebody wants to work there. They want to work for you. I've always felt that. I'm like, what do I have somebody that doesn't want to work for me? What must that be like? What must it be like pulling up to the office every day and being like, this guy or girl is the biggest jerk off on the planet? Like, you're walking in every day, like you can't stand the sight of them, right? Like it's got to be awful, So I never wanted to be that person at all. So it's like, you have to try to cultivate it a little bit.
I think you cultivated a whole lot. And I agree with you.